All right, family. Before we get started, I need to go on and say happy birthday to my wife. Happy birthday, Miss Vicky. Shots out, shots out. Um, so let's go on and first off, let me go on and let you know that you are now standing in the congregation of the mighty, the home of the stubborn minority, the place where your hustle builds muscle. This is Gye-Nyame Journey Media. I am your host, Brother Hatem. Of course, you know this is the Daily Toast, and of course, this is a Heart of a Simple production. All day, every day. When we strive to blow up your old paradigms. Our family, we had a great show last night on Blunt Talk, Blunt Talk, Blunt Talk. And we're moving into a series of discussions that are very important for the development and foundation of culture, and that is your relationship. In Gye-Nyame, we talk about the ultimate form of spirituality is your relationships. Relationship, right? You have a relationship with your God, you have a relationship with your mother and father, you have a relationship with your aunts and your uncles, you have relationships with people, and those relationships show the growth and the power of your spirituality. In fact, relationships are where true wealth lie. Now, that's an issue that we could go into a little bit more in depth as time goes on. But in relationships is where the wealth lies because you are able to pull different people and different, I guess, institutions to your aid so that you can make things happen. That's that's true wealth, right? But now, of course, we in American paradigm and wealth is measured by how much money you have. But family, it takes relationships to hold on to that money because if not, other people with stronger relationships will find a way to pull your money, take your money, rob you of your money. But what I wanted to really talk about this morning was the why. Culture, right? When we talk about the whole relationship piece, we get into cultures. And the relationships reflect that culture. Now, if the culture is dysfunctional, then the relationships within that culture will also be dysfunctional and very unhealthy for all that are involved. And I think we're coming to a point in our community right now where once again we're singling out each other. It's the woman, it's the man, it's the boom, boom, boom. When we both realize, I believe, when we both realize that we have issues, then it makes it easier for us to actually deal. Yeah, black women do shit. Yes, they do. Yes, black men do shit. Yes, we do. But there is a population of us that's trying to pull shit together. There are those individuals that are trying to live in a system that is healthy not only for us, but for everybody around us. Now, culture. Culture is a living organism. Like we get into all of the scientific definitions of it, but culture is an organism. Is an organism. It's a living organism that has needs, right? And it wants to survive. That's the key point. It wants to survive. And it and culture survives through the people in which it is alive in. Do you understand what I'm saying? So we are in a sense the cells of the culture. Now, if the culture is dysfunctional, then in a sense the people are like cancer cells or you know what I'm saying? And but culture strives to survive and eventually get to a point of thriving, unless it has been morphed or disformed or something happened to it to where it's just it starts to disintegrate, it start working against itself. And one of the things we have to start asking when we start dealing with our culture, especially, and those of us that are really thinkers, and those of us that are really into changing what's going on in our community, we have to really start asking and start demanding that the things around us start serving to make sure that the culture survive and is able to thrive. We got to ask questions like, what is education for? You know, and I know a lot of people, boom, boom, yeah, because because I'm telling you all the standards that we are pushing our children towards, right? All the standards we are pushing our children towards do not necessarily work for our culture. What is money for? All of these tools that we have to use to survive, how do they serve the culture? How can we make them serve us better? How can we morph and change them? See, because it's through culture that people are able to survive and thrive. Now, let me give you an example. For example, if we look at so-called the Eskimos, I don't know if that's a negative term now. I don't Inuits. Maybe that's the proper term. So if I was wrong, if we look at the Inuits, the reason that Inuits were able to survive in the Arctic was because of culture. There were certain cultural norms that was passed on from generation to generation. There were certain things and certain innovations that were passed on through the people, through the culture. The culture prepared the young people to be able to take advantage of that environment. If we look at the Twa, there's a culture that makes it possible for these people to survive in the harsh conditions in which they are living. And there are norms that are passed from generation to generation, and innovations that are passed from generation to generation for those people to survive. They have figured out how to educate their children in the best form in order to be able to survive in that environment. They have developed an economic system that works best for them. They have developed a social order that works best for them, because you know that it works because those people have been there for thousands and thousands of years. So the question we have to ask is, how do the social institutions that are surrounding our um, our culture, that our culture is involved with because we are in this great American experiment, how how can we use these institutions to help us? And how do we get rid of the ones that are hindering us? These are things that we really have to start dealing with and start being honest about, because we can see right now in real time, because of all the technology we have, the disintegration of our people. There is hope. I see things, I see hope. But as on a large scale, we can start seeing the disintegration of our people. And we have to have these rough conversations. We have to have these hard conversations. And we have to be bold enough to start standing up and demanding what we need. You know what I'm saying? And creating the institutions that we need to serve ourselves. Because if not, family, I mean, it's like, yo, this might be the last decade for us. It's getting kind of dire. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, I listened to the conversation, and for me, it's like this. Culturally, I could disagree with the gentleman we talked about last night, but the boldness in which he's bringing across the conversation and some of the points he make, I can't argue with. Culturally, are we doing that? Culturally, those of us that's in the cultural aspect of black folks, of ADOS, of Pan Africanism, are we having the real conversations we need to have? And not only having the conversations, but are we taking the actions to make sure that our culture is able to survive, because not only does the culture take care of us, but we have to take care and protect the culture. That's enough for me right now. That's enough for Brother Hot Tim right now.